Friends, Romans, and countrymen, lend me your ears. Activision and Creative Assembly's Rome Total War is finally here, and this third game in the superb Total War series delivers the epic strategy gameplay that was promised. There are basically two different games in Rome Total War. There's the overarching turn-based campaign, in which you conquer cities and provinces as you expand the size of your empire, and then there are the real-time strategy battles, where you use tactics and maneuvers to shatter the enemy in combat. In the game's main campaign, you play one of three powerful Roman families, the Julii, the Brutii, and the Scipii, as they each attempt to increase the size and glory of Rome. The Julii must deal with the Gauls in Germania to the north. The Brutii are assigned to deal with the remnants of the Greek city-states to the east, as well as expand the empire in that direction. And the Scipii are tasked with subduing Carthage, Rome's great nemesis to the southwest. You can also unlock foreign factions such as the Gauls in Carthage if you manage to crush them during the campaign. While you're busy dealing with the barbarians on Rome's borders, you'll also receive missions from the Roman Senate. As a loyal servant of Rome, you'll be expected to follow those orders obediently, so you may have to go off and blockade an enemy port or conquer a foreign city. Of course, you can choose to disregard the Senate, though it will cost you an influence over the course of the game. One of the big new features of the campaign is the concept of family. Each Roman faction is basically one huge family. All your generals and governors are from that family, so it's important to try to keep them alive, if for no other reason, to make sure they live long enough to have children who will grow into the next generation of leaders. Of course, this is harder said than done when the barbarians are knocking on the gates. As your power and influence grow, your rivals in the Senate will become jealous. Eventually, you'll need to prepare yourself for when civil war breaks out and you must march on Rome and defeat your rivals for control of the empire. This is an exciting late game development that changes the course of the game. Of course, the biggest new feature in Rome Total War is the new 3D graphics engine, which brings the battles to life, with thousands of soldiers fighting out on the screen at once. It's a visually amazing experience and a huge step up from the battles in earlier Total War games. The action is gorgeous, and you'll actually see individual soldiers battling for their lives, cavalry sliced through lines, and yes, elephants will trample over everyone in their path. It's a lot easier to understand what's going on the battlefield, and it's easier to differentiate between good and bad tactics, even if you're a novice. If you see Greek spearmen lower their spears in formation, you'll probably recognize that charging them head-on with cavalry is a bad idea, so you want to go around them. As good as the graphics are, the sound and music also deserve recognition as well. When you issue a march order, you'll hear the crash of hundreds of boots on the ground, and the music changes to a fitting march theme. When battle erupts, the audio stands out, from the clang of steel on shields to the whoosh of spears and arrows in the air. Above it all, the music constantly changes, much like the orchestral score in a Hollywood movie. It's a rousing experience, to say the least. Ultimately, Rome is a deeply satisfying strategy game that can appeal to gamers of all types. If you're looking for a deep, addictive, conquer-the-world style game, you can look forward to the Imperial campaign. There are countless hours of gameplay packed in the campaign alone. Meanwhile, if what you're looking for are realistic, cinematic-style battles, you can dive into the skirmish or multiplayer modes to your heart's content. Multiplayer supports up to 8 players, and you can play in a deathmatch-style game or in teams. And if you're looking for both types of gameplay, then you'll find Rome Total War to be a sublime blend of the two.